vertical edge setter.
I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drive. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. It works the best right.
Woo! Okay. What's happening? We're going to continue to talk about the things we like to talk about, but we're going to do it after hours style. This is what happens. Nice and quiet, like nice and calm. We can curse at each other and we can talk about French fries if we want. What's Aaron Rodgers' favorite French fries? Is it McDonald's? Is it Five Guys? Jay-Z starting us off. What's up, dude? It's good to have you here. Yeah, it said 10:15. Did I say 10:15? Is that what I said? 10:45 is I meant to put. I did it fast while I was doing all the other numbers, and it's hard to do, man. You guys got to remember, I tell you guys all the time, right? I can't count as it is. I can't. It's a struggle. It's a weakness of mine. I try to tell myself, stop saying you can't count. It just doesn't matter. I can't count. So when I'm trying to like keep track of the chat, because that's my job in the Talking Jets panels, to keep track of the chat, see what's going on, keep the winners and tally and count and keep track of the super chats and all this shit. And then I'm trying to create a stream at the same time. And I probably put it for next week. I don't know. That's what happens. I apologize. But we are here. Hank is here. Ryan's here. Look at this. Zach Hunko's here. Cy Thompson. Everybody's hanging out. Lee Bruce, Jay-Z, Patrick Sullivan's here. I'm sorry about the confusion, my friends. April 26th. That's what happens. What are you going to do? Did I do that? I probably said 10:15, April 26th. So look, we gotta get this out of our system, right? We gotta figure it out. We got to talk about the idea that we have still found a way to be upset. We got to stop. We are friends. We are us. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole thing with like NFL fans, right? NFL fans and the rest of the NFL, the 31 other markets, and then the subsidiaries, right? Like we got a couple Iowa people, Iowa Jets fan, and Finnegan. They live in Iowa and they're Jets fans. We got Wyatt, who's out there in Wyoming, and they pick the Jets. But generally speaking, those states without teams, they pick it to like the Broncos, right? Or like the Seahawks or something, because that's the closest team that they get. So you have all them too. Every last one of those people, those fans, look at us and they think, what a bunch of assholes those Jets fans are. They do. Believe me. You guys know, I lived in an RV for 2 years. I traveled around this whole country. I made it to 36 states, 260 roller coasters, like 7 or 8 national parks, 20 state parks, all over the place. And I wore a Jets hat, as did my son, through the whole thing. Everywhere I went, when we were in New England, when we were in Maine and Massachusetts, and we wore our Jets hats and we heard all the comments. We heard it all. We wore our Jets hat through the whole country. Everybody throws stones our way. Everybody. Every last one of those sons of bitches hate us. They laugh at us. They kick us. They make fun of us. And even on top of that, they hate us. They root for us to fail. They love it when we fail. They love when Jets fans think we're going to be good and we collapse. Like last year, we were 6-2, 7-3, and they took great delight in watching us fail. We need to stick together. We're us. We're the ones. Snowball and Evan and Randilla and Bob, get mobile. Like we have to stick together. Sure, we can spat, but when we get a guy like Aaron Rodgers over here, we got to know something. This is unprecedented. The team we have and the quarterback and the motivation and the organization and the coaching staff, everything is here. We need to band together, Jets fans. Stick together. We can't, they say a house divided amongst itself cannot stand, cannot succeed, right? We need to make sure we're not the cracks in the dam, like waiting outside the thing for our GM. And we can't do that shit. We yelling at a young kid to kill himself. We got to stop. We got to stop calling each other losers. You're an idiot. Why? Because I think the trade is good. And you think, okay, you think we've overpaid. I think it's okay. We're all rooting for the same thing. So we got to remember that. This is a special, special time. And we don't get this very often. That's not true, Radovan. That's just not true. I know people are on my Twitter like, you're out of your mind. No one's up. Dude, I'm getting DMs. People are livid. And I know they're diehard Jets fans. Like, you can't speak like Radovan. I'll tell you this. Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. That's an absolute. There are no absolutes. You know this. Be a Jedi, not a Sith. But it's like, dude, there are legit Jets fans that are upset. And it's not to say that they don't have the right to be upset or that they think we overpaid. But at the end of the day, dude, it's a good day. We got Aaron Rodgers, man. And we didn't give up our 13th pick. How the hell do you do that? So I don't know. We got to remember, this is it, dude. And we're getting a furious Aaron Rodgers. He's pissed. Bob, I saw this comment in the stream. I've seen Fran Tark. Let me just say this. If that's the guy that we have to use to justify Zach Wilson's play and what he did, there's a 40-something, 50-year gap between it that further supports my point. That's what I'm talking about. I remember Fran Tarkenton. I didn't watch him live. I watched him in highlight. I remember Fran Tarkenton from Inside the NFL. I'm sure you do too. Fran Tarkenton, Len Dawson, remember? Nick Bonacani. No, Fran Tarkenton. No. Fran Tarkenton was on That's Incredible, right? What if I think he was on, I remember him from a 70s TV show. I think it's That's Incredible. That's what he was on with John Davidson and Kimberly Crosby. Was that her name? Holy shit. Bob, what is happening with I'm remembering things? But that's the thing. It's like, all right, so if Fran Tarkenton did it and then Zach Wilson, let me tell you something. Fran Tarkenton at the end of those plays did amazing things. Zach's not doing that very often. And he didn't start that way. I understand the point. No good. No good. Nobody can silver line that one for me. Watching Zach Wilson last season made me ill. I couldn't do it. It was like unbelievable, especially when there's a guy wide open right in front of him. And we can all see it. Believe me, I watched the film after almost every game. Almost every game, I sat for an hour or 2 hours and I watched the film. I watched the all 22 the next day or whatever the hell it comes out. Not right after the game. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. I mean, there are guys right there like, duh! And he's just running backwards and he's just craziness. So I saw it. I'm with you. But again, if that's the closest guy that we have to what he then, it's been a lot of football between Fran Tarkenton and Zach Wilson. Paris checking in. Paris was yelling at me earlier, man. I forget what you were saying. You weren't yelling. I was just playing. I like Rodgers, but it's so frustrating that Packers got more than they deserved. They get our 13th, our 42nd instead of 4. I know, dude, we're talking pennies. We're nitpicking. Nitpicking. 42 versus 43. That's that's the thing. Joe Douglas probably looked, he's like, I want to give you 43. He's like, I'm not going to let one spot dictate. This is important. Aaron Rodgers is going to change this organization for a one spot. I think that's nitpicky. And we didn't give up 13. Like look at how you wrote that, Paris. We didn't give up 13. We dropped back 2 spots. We got 15. You see what I mean? It's a big difference, dude. It's huge. Like, if we're looking at it that way, then I would be pissed too. It's fine. It's totally fine. 42 if that's what you're upset about. Now, the last part, I could see that, sure. But again, like, we were always going to pay. You're going to pay. They made that very clear. It's fine. Just get him in here. We didn't give up a number 1 pick this year. And if we do next year, the plan is that it's in the late 20s, 30s, Super Bowl 32. That's the plan. And it can happen. That's the interesting thing. I know it's hard for us to believe. Like, you heard me before. I'm even talking positive. I freak out. I'm like, I can't do this I can't talk positive this long. Curly Norman, what's up, dude? He says, if you're not fully happy with the trade compensation, that probably means it was a fair deal. That's well said. Get over it. When the games start and Aaron is playing, no one will care about the picks unless he sucks terribly. If Aaron Rodgers comes in and his first 4 passes are picks or something like that, it's going to be different. But that's not what's going to happen, man. Let's just believe. That's not who he is up to this point. That's not who he is. And let's believe. He's got the weapons. We'll protect him. They're going to use 2 picks on offensive line this year. They just re-signed Connor McGovern. We got Dwayne Brown, Mekhi Becton, Max Mitchell, AVT, Laken Tomlinson. We still have a whole bunch of guys here. You know, we signed the 2 linemen for depth this offseason. They're solid depth. I don't want them starting, but they're solid depth. Come in for a game, play for you. You know what I mean? Lee Bruce says he's much better than Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford. Of course. I don't think it's up for debate. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford. I love Matthew Stafford, at least as far as non-Jets can be loved by GreenBean. Matthew Stafford was, dude, that's the epitome of a team guy. I mean, he's been up there in Detroit. He's never complained. He just goes to where he plays his ass off, and he's a good quarterback. They sent him to the beach, and he won a Super Bowl. You know? Johnny Jimenez, he says, it's a great time to be a Jets fan. All we can ever ask is that our organization puts us in a spot to win. And they did. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. Let's see, catch up. DLB, one Jets arm. What's up? I'm just looking forward to the typical preseason Mims debates once we're past draft. You know that's coming. Well, the first thing that's coming, it was mentioned in the previous show, the Talking Jets panel on Jets Talk 24/7. It was, somebody said, prepare yourself for when the Packers are on the clock, Jets fans are going to complain about the player they take or who's available there. Whoever's taken at 13 and 14, there's going to be a mess of Jets fans that are pissed. Those are the players they wanted, and we fucked up, and that's what's going to happen. You know it is. I mean, there's no way that's not going to happen. Now, it might be a low roar. It might be loud, but it's going to happen. It's just the way it is. Well, we should try to temper that. Imagine this, a world where you believe that all these things that Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, AVT, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, CJ Mosley, Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams, Carl Lawson, that where you believe that these guys are actually able to win football games. And that's what we're talking about here. Salty balls. What's up, man? We finally got the Red Ryder BB gun under our... Dude, what a great way to say it. It's all we wanted. Everybody laughed at us, said we'd shoot our eye out. And then we did. Oh, man, he shot his eye out. But it was didn't he say it was an icicle? It was an icicle. Oh no, you actually, I don't forget it. You said it was an icicle. Well, give me another one, Gitmo. Give me. I hear you. I mean, again, we can talk. You know me. We can talk, but I just don't. I mean, again, if there's 2 or 3 guys in the history of the NFL that did that, fine, but it's not a good way to go about things. And again, at the end of it, sad to say, Zach's fumbling it, throwing a pick. It's not like he doesn't do that, and very rarely. I mean, even though we have the couple times that he ran around like that and zipped it down the field to Corey Davis in the end zone. You know what I mean? Like, it's rare. More times than not, particularly last year, it was just like, what is happening? It's not a way to do things. The Fire of Xantos. What's up? I'm just happy the Jets have a shot at the Super Bowl. Fingers crossed that it happens so I can cross it off my. I'm telling you, man. Right? So I've been a fan for 40 years. This is my 41st year, I think. Yeah, this is 2023 is year 41 of rooting for this shit. 4 AFC championship games, numerous playoffs, but come on. It's crazy, dude. Our best seasons are we get to the end and fail. Oh, so close. That's it, Evan. He says, are you ready for back-to-back Super Bowl? That's what I'm ready for. That's what's going to happen. I'm believing it until there's a reason not to believe it. Until we lose and we're not in it anymore, I'm buying it. Dude, we got some hungry young kids and we have a pissed off old man that is still as capable as any quarterback in the NFL. That's it. Ron Weiss checking in. Says GreenBean. If GreenBean thinks GreenBean is New Jersey and GreenBean is GreenBean. No, I know. GreenBean. If Green Bay thinks GreenBean in New Jersey is GreenBean. Oh, yeah, right. I know. It's crazy. Thank you, Ron. That's what it's been like. That's a little intense microcosm of what my last 2 months have been like. I don't know what the hell's going on. Everybody's like, GreenBean, GB needs to. I'm like, why do I need to do that? No, Green Bay. I'm like, oh, all right. GB needs to shut up. I'm like, why? No, Green Bay. I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? I don't know. Aunt Gina Arena wants to win a T-shirt. I'll tell you, Gene, it's all organic. Well, so now on the Talking Jets panel, the way that we do it is we do the super chats. Every super chat gets qualified, and then we do the organic, the randomizer thing, Nightbot, and Nightbot picks winners. And then at the end, we do the number, and wherever it lands, it is. I'm very honest, as you know. I'm a very honest person. And I will not, even if somebody there's very few of you guys I don't like. Some guys can rub me at times, but there's nobody that I don't like, really. So if somebody wins, they win. It's that simple. Who the hell am I to say somebody shouldn't win? You know what I mean? But that's how it is. I'm sorry your name never gets picked. I'm sorry. I can just send you a GreenBean shirt. I can't send you a Talking Jets shirt, though. Let me know. I'll send you a shirt. Gene, I have women's shirts right here. Let me know. Just talk to me. Text me. Text me your size. I'll send you a shirt and your address. I'll send you a shirt tomorrow. That's how you win a shirt, Gene. Tim says, wasn't Aaron's last MVP like 2 years ago before he broke his thumb? Yeah, dude. That's the thing. So think about this. This is the truth of it. And people say, oh, silver lining and blah, blah, blah. This is the truth. We have one season removed from Aaron Rodgers winning back-to-back MVPs with the offensive coordinator that we have right now and the wide receiver that he was the number one wide receiver for the Packers last year. Now, he wasn't number one when Devontae Adams was there, but he was there. So we are one season removed from Aaron Rodgers winning back-to-back MVPs. with Nathaniel Hackett. So last year, not only did he have a broken thumb that he played through all year, he had a different offensive coordinator, and they took away his number one wide receiver and replaced him with a bunch of kids. That's why Lazard stepped up and became Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I think this is like, look, I think get my Bob saying the compensation piece for next year. I think that's a fair point. I think that's my rub too. That's where I'm like, like, let me say this: if the trade was the same right now, and we got like a fourth, if Aaron Rodgers retires a third or fourth, I would feel ecstatic about this trade. That's the one rub for me, truly. And I think that's where a lot of people get off. But I think if Aaron Rodgers has told Joe Douglas, you got me for 2 years. You got me for 2 years. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 years. I'm going to make the Packers pay. Hey, don't worry about it. Don't stress it. Just keep letting everybody believe it's a one and done. Let them all. We're going to be fine. I'm giving you 2 years minimum. If that happened, then this is a fantastic trade. But it would be better if we got a third. But then it wouldn't matter anyway. But it's like that assurance, that insurance even, it would make us feel better. It would. Hey, look at this. Jake Assman. What's up, buddy? How you doing? When the Jets win the Super Bowl this year, 35-31 over the Eagles, some negative loser Jets fans will sadly complain that the D allowed 31 points. That's so true, dude. It really is. They're going to go, yeah, but Sauce. I thought Sauce gave up a touchdown. I thought he was supposed to be somebody. This guy's a fraud. It's going to happen. That's so funny, man. See, you hang around here long enough, you start to be able to predict the future. We're a bunch of sages. We have crystal balls. And we're always right because it's the same shit over and over and over again. It's funny. That's a funny one, man. And it's, it's funny because it's kind of sad. A little bit. A little bit, Jake? A little bit sad. A little tiny bit. Hey, guys, I'm going to remind you of something. We have Aaron Rodgers as the New York Jets quarterback, okay? Now, he's at the tail end of his career, fine. But we have Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback. And we have a studly roster filled with young, hungry bucks that want to kill. How good is Garrett Wilson? Let me just ask you guys that. How good is this Garrett Wilson guy? You know what I mean? How good is this guy? He's the hungriest, young, best wide receiver that I've seen in a Jets uniform in a long time. And I like as great as like Keyshawn was and Wayne was, and even before that, like Toon and Walker, like Garrett Wilson has another thing about him where he's like angry about it, right? He's got that intensity level that like Toon didn't have. Toon, as great as he was, and believe me, he was great. He didn't have that. Keyshawn, as great, Keyshawn kind of had that. It was different, but he had that. He was pissed off. He played pissed. He played angry. But Garrett Wilson has that like intensity that even Keyshawn didn't have. Dude, it's special, man. And we now have Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. I see number one wide receiver. That's what I see in the league. It's possible. Like that's whether or not it happens, right? It's hard to do, but that's actually realistic to believe that that's possible. Guys, it's possible. It's real. We could say anything's possible. Sure. You got Bryce Petty throwing to fucking Sharon Peak. It's possible that it can work. Sure. Think of the stuff we've rooted for over the years. Hackenberg's going to be the dude. You know what I mean? Ryan Yarborough. Remember Ryan Yarborough? He was, I wanted Ryan Yarborough to be the next thing. He sucked. Alex Van Dyke. David Clowney. Dude, it goes on and on and on, man. Stevie Anderson. Remember Stevie Anderson? They called him Forrest Gump. Preseason dynamo. It's another one. And we keep these guys around for years. Remember Mike Westhoff? Famously on Hard Knocks, they kept keeping David Clowney around. He was around for years because he was 6'3" and he's super crazy fast. He said, I'm telling you, you guys love this guy. I can't even use him. He's a complete waste of space. Westhoff, they're like, yeah, but his measurements, I don't give a shit. He's not a football player. He famously said that right on Hard Knocks. Radovan Merkovic saying, any reason to be worried about the Becton? I didn't see any Becton tweet to be worried about. I know what you're talking about with Quinnen. I'm not worried about it. Quinnen wants his contract signed. He wants to be in camp, dude. And they had to get the Aaron Rodgers thing done first. I get it. You want to know why? Because Quinnen's under contract. That's it. I understand it. But I really think that they need to get it done before training camp. Like, you have to. You have to. The optics are terrible if you don't. If it becomes an actual holdout, right now he's not going to voluntaries. No big deal. But he wants to be there. That's what it is. Now, Becton's tweets, I don't know if I saw any Becton tweet today. Put Jake in the I don't have the Shadow Realm. That's Jake's. Jake owns the Shadow Realm. Jake has the keys to the Shadow Realm. I'm not allowed in there, thankfully. I'm not even allowed to put people in there. It's Jake's cupboard. I would have different people in there. Maybe FM would still might make it in there. But Jets Forever is allowed to run around here. Right. Golston. Look at all the guys, man. Quentin Copels, Dedrick Ward. What about Devin Smith? You know what I mean? Dude, it just goes on and on and on. Sanchez. Totally. Like, wouldn't this, Billy, imagine this. We're all talking about this one and done thing. Aaron Rodgers comes here, he's the biggest star in the NFL. He owns New York. He loves playing for Robert Saleh, Nathaniel Hackett. Hackett gets in 3 years, he gets offered a head coach job. He says, I don't even want it, man. That is bullshit. I hated it. I'm staying right here. We keep everybody together. And he stays for 5 years. And he wins 3 Super Bowls, and we're in the play. Wouldn't that be something? Meanwhile, Green Bay's looking for their next quarterback, but they got a second. They got an extra second. Remember? Edward Ziff talking about my boy, Wesley. Yeah, I love Wesley. But he was legally blind in one eye. It's different. But he's legally blind in one eye. But he wasn't all the way blind. But still, I'm getting tired, everybody. But think about it. Was Wesley Walker angry and intense like Garrett Wilson? He wasn't. I loved Wesley Walker. There's not a negative thing I can say about that man. I loved him. But let me tell you, Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson's only 1 year in, so we don't want to get presumptuous, put the cart before the horse and all that stuff. But you can see it, man. When's the last time Wesley Walker caught a touchdown and ran up to the fans in the state that just rooted for him for 3 straight years and said, fuck you? When's the last time you saw that? What's up? You know what I mean? Dude, that's something. There's something there. There's another notch with Garrett Wilson that we haven't seen around here, man. Let's see what else we got. The Louisville Slugger, Rob V. Oh my God, he's another one. That was, dude. You know what? I remember this. I was in my house on Jackson Street in Hollywood, Florida. I was on the phone with a Jets fan who lives up in Boston, and we were like, "All right, man, who's the pick?" We both said Brandon Cooks, no question. It's the wide receiver draft. He's the best wide receiver on the board. He fits what we're doing. He's going to be great. When I'm on the phone, I'm standing up in front of my 65-inch TV in my bedroom. Why? Because I couldn't sit down and I was the whole thing. And I'm like, here it comes, dude. Here it comes, Bobby. The Jets select Calvin Pryor, safety. There wasn't even anger. There was this is what it sounded like with me and my other crazy loud maniac Jets fan. This is what it did. This is what it looked and sounded like. What? Who? Wait, what? That's what it sounded. It was like, it wasn't even angry. It was completely dumbfounded. We just took a strong safety in the strongest and deepest wide receiver class in NFL history up to that point. And Brandon Cooks, and other guys, but Brandon Cooks was just my guy, was sitting right there. And we took Calvin Pryor. I was blown away. Jay Samaro on the second hand, I liked. That pick was great. Jay Samaro led all tight end rookie. He looked great. And then Todd Bowles comes here and they cut him. And then he went to Tennessee and he sucked. I don't know what happened. Something happened to him. I don't know what it was. We never found out. Somebody should look that up. Let's see what else. Oh, my God, Roger. The Mike Nugent second-round pick. And you know why we only had a second-round pick? That was our first pick. Because we traded it for tight end Doug Jolly, right? Wasn't that his name? Doug Jolly. Yay. Crazy. Anthony Beck was good, though. He was unspectacular, but he was solid. He was a good tight end. But this one sucked. We gave a first-round pick. We got something. I think we got a third, maybe second back. But still, so bad. Yeah, that's the thing. There's all sorts of stuff. And when we see the specifics of the contract, it's probably going to even make more sense. Like, there's just more to this. Joe Douglas said in his presser today, he said, hey, look, to be clear, this isn't done. We still have to dot some I's and cross some T's, but we do have an agreement. We have agreed on the compensation. So it's not done. And then what they're talking about is the money. So it's going to be something to see. I think that's going to help us figure it all out. Anders reminding us, right, it's an anniversary day. We have 37 more minutes of our Mark Sanchez anniversary. I remember that too, man. The Jets traded up. Holy shit, what did we give up? Brett Ratliff, Trubisky, whatever, the defensive guy. It was like, what? And we traded with the coach we just fired. It was like the weirdest thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know how we agreed to that. Then later that year, we traded again with him and got Bray for a third and a fifth. Braylon Edwards was a stud. Make no mistake. Disgrace. Yeah, well, let me see, Evan, you know what you're going to see this year? In your fantasy leagues, you're going to see Garrett Wilson getting plucked early in every single one of them. I'm telling you. Why are you bringing up Dave Cadigan? You remember Dave Cadigan and Jeff Criswell? Jeremy, do you remember what they were called? Don't look it up, you cheating fuck. Do you remember what they were called? Trusnick. There it is. Thank you, Curly Norman. That was part of the trade. Jeremy, who remembers what Dave, and anybody for that matter, But who remembers what Dave Cadigan and Jeff Criswell were called? They were the left side of our line. Right, Roger, you're onto it. You're close. It's not exactly that, but you spelt it wrong. Yep, there it is. The Penalty Brothers. You see this? This is our history, man. This is what we do. This is what we do. The Penalty Brothers. And the thing is, they weren't bad linemen. Like, they were actually good. But they would just get called for penalties constantly, man. Holding, offsides. It was like, come on with these guys. Oh, my God. Undersized Darren Lee. Well, you know what? If you look at that draft, though, let's take a look. What year was that? 2016, right? 2016. Let me show you guys something. It's an interesting, agreed. But when you look at that draft, if I remember correctly, it's interesting. I'm going to show you guys. Yeah. So there's a lot of guys, and some guys did okay, but it's like there really wasn't all that much greatness on the board left. I mean, you know, for a first round, it was like, you know, people go, well, why don't you take the guy that they took in the 5th round that made the ball? Because that's not the way it goes. You know what I mean? Like let me see here. Oh, that's not it. Wait, Chrome tab. There it is. Here, I'll show you. So here we go. So here's where is he? Darren Lee. Look at Darren Lee. So cute. A little cutie pie. This was a weird draft. It wasn't all that great. So you got up top, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Joey Bosa, Ezekiel Elliott, Jalen Ramsey, Ronnie Stanley, DeForest Buckner. Look, a little Jack Conklin action. Leonard Floyd, Eli Apps. So there's a lot of guys up here. Sheldon Rankins, look at him. Laramie Tunsil. All right. All these guys. And then you get Darren Lee. And like Will Fuller's good. He's fine. Right? And Josh Doxson, he's fine. Treadwell, he's all right. You know, he's a bust. But like, look at this. Paxton Lynch. It's like it was a weird draft where like, you know, a couple guys are all right. Jalen Smith looks like he made a Pro Bowl. I can't even think of who that is. Hunter Henry, he's good, right? Miles Jack. But it's like, it's weird. Chris Jones, obviously, but when you're not looking there, when you need different things, but it's like, generally speaking, it was kind of a weak batch. It's like this whole section of the draft. And we didn't have that good of an organization. So being able to find in this draft, this was Mike McCagnon and Todd Bowles. So being able to kind of find, where is he? Darren Lee. Like, look at there's just a lot of dead air in here. You know, I mean, there's some better players than Darren Lee. And then it starts to pick up a little bit, you know. Derrick Henry. It's like, well, why didn't you take Derrick Henry? Well, Derrick Henry was widely considered a 2nd, 3rd round pick. You know, there's Hackenberg. So then he does that. He wanted Hackenberg. That's who he wanted. You know, Tyler Boyd. Obviously, I mean, again, there's some much better players. James Bradbury. Oh man, you know, again, but like, you know, you got to remember, like, just because there's a better player in the 3rd, like there are you know, you have your ratings and everything on these guys. And some guys have 1st round grades and 2nd. I mean, you know, you want an organization that can identify that and go, everybody thinks that guy's a 1st round pick. He's a scrub. Let them talk. I'm not going near that guy. That's Joe Douglas. That's not Mike McCagnon. Twin Towers Turnstiles. No, they were the Penalty Brothers. That was their name. Yeah, I think he was a white guy. Rodgers says he's 55, so Roger knows his shit. Yeah, of course I remember Sapuli Malamala. Of course. It was it Sapuli? No, it was it Sapuli? I thought it was wait. Yeah, I'll go with Sapuli. Why not? I think it was a little different, but yeah, of course. Of course. Mala, number 75, if I remember correctly. Huge. Never really worked out. We had a lot of hope for him. I know. Somebody's waiting at the airport, Malcolm. You know that. There's a Jets fan at the airport. There's probably 25 of them. At every terminal. We're nuts. That's what I mean. Like the rest of the NFL, like when they look at us, dude, you got to remember this. When you're telling another Jets fan to go to hell or whatever, you're an idiot, you suck, kill yourself. Just remember that the rest of the NFL hates both of you. Remember that. They're laughing at both of you. And if they're privy to the argument, they're laughing their ass off that you're talking to each other. Like the rest of the NFL laughs at us. And some of the stuff's because we wait at the airport, we wait in the bushes, we're outside the restaurant taking pictures. We're like sleuths. We're nuts, dude. Let's be real. Right, Hennessy? I know. It's fun. That's like my favorite thing to do is kind of dig back into the annals of Jets lore. Yes. I should do a show. I have like a cloak. I have a cloak and a staff with a crystal on top. That's a flute. I could like walk with my cloak and pick up the thing, go. I could blow it. It's a flute. I used to hang out at Ren fairs. What do you want? Maul, Dave was excited for Lorenzo Maul. He did. He actually started off pretty good too. He started off like hot for a minute, for just a brief minute. Then he got that. Remember, he got knocked out on the field, and I wasn't excited for Lorenzo Molden. I was hopeful. I liked that we took a guy who was going to be a pass rusher, but there were other guys. I forget. You know who I wanted when we picked Lorenzo Molden? I wanted Duke Johnson. That's who I wanted, if I remember correctly. You have a Mala jersey, dude? Roger, what are we going to do with that? When's the last time you wore it? We should do something with that, buddy. You should donate it to me. Dude, we should raffle that off. I mean, I don't know. Of course, it's yours and, whatever. But, dude, come on. That is special. Do you ever wear it? Is it just sitting in your closet, man? Sapueli. You were close. It's a little different. I agree. That's the thing, man. Just, and then honestly, I honestly believe that YouTubers are the best. That's what I think. I mean, maybe I'm biased, of course. But obviously we can't break the news in this exact same way. But let me tell you, man, the coverage, the talking, the comments, the thoughts, they don't have anything on us. Nothing. We're real. Oh, yeah, we passed on all sorts of fun shit. Didn't we, Jimmy? We love to pass. I'll tell you what, SAP isn't even the one that bothers me the most. You want to know why? Because a lot of people forget the full, you take that out of context and it's very stupid. But if you remember the full first round, the Jets had 2 first-round picks. We had 2 first-round picks. And the way that Kotite, who was our GM at the time, because Dick Steinberg died, the way that he was looking at it was there is more meat in this draft on the defensive line than there is at tight end. We have 1 tight end who could be special. 1. And let me tell you something. Kyle Brady, his measurables were insane. What he brought to the table was insane. And let's not forget, he was kind of a bust. He was solid for us, but Bill Parcells had no problem using Kyle Brady. But he went down to the Jaguars, numerous Pro Bowls. He's a very good. He had a nice long career. Kyle Brady is not a bust. He's not a Hall of Famer. But taking Kyle Brady, knowing that you had another pick and that you were going to get who you got, which is Hugh Douglas. Do you guys remember him? Hugh Douglas won Rookie of the Year, dude. Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was an animal. Animal. Let me look at something here. Hold on a second. I'm going to see. I got to see this. Hugh Douglas. If this is real, if I can find this, fumble recovery touchdown. Let's see if it's out there. Yes. So he really played for the Eagles longer than the Jets. We traded. Parcells didn't like Hugh Douglas. So yeah, it's going to be hard to find. Hold on. Hugh Douglas. Let me see this. All right. Hugh Douglas. You guys are going to like this. If I can find this, fumble recovery. This is before everybody had cameras and shit, so it's not going to it's not as readily available. Baltimore. Look at this. Article from 1995. The Jets are beyond help after hitting bottom. Another article. Upset by the all right. Well, the same thing. Jets jolt. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not out there. I got to look for this because let me tell you why I wanted to tell you so bad. Because I think I told you guys recently, but I happened to be standing in the end zone when that happened. So Hugh Douglas scoops up, I think it was against the Dolphins. He picks up a fumble and he runs it in the end zone. He ran right at me and I'm like, yeah. I'm young. I'm probably 24, 22, 28, something like that. I don't know. What year was probably the year 2002? Hugh Doug, what draft was that? 2000? Something like that. So if I was 2000, how old was I? I don't know. 22, 28. No, I couldn't have been 28, dude. That's ridiculous. Was I? Anyway. So what do you want to do, Roger? You want to do something with it? We should do something with that thing. Roger, email me, dude. I mean, of course, no pressure. If you're like, dude, leave me alone. I want my jersey. Then go ahead, keep your, I don't want to offend but dude, Roger, that would be wonderful. We could do something with that. We could even call Supielli Malamala and get him on the show. So look at this. We have the only one in the world. C.U. Pelly. C.U. Pelly. Mala. C.U. Pelly. That's it. It's C.U. Pelly Mala. We got to talk to this guy. We got to get Mala on here. How old is he? He's born in 1960. He's 54 years old. In 93 and 94, he started 15 games in 90 defense. What is that? He started 15 games for us in 1993. 94, he started 10 games for us. And the rest are, he was with the Jets for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, dude. Mala, baby. That's fucking awesome. Thank you, Roger, even just for mentioning Siupeli Mala today. Like, I have not heard that name in decades. That's funny. That's beautiful. No, McKnight died. Yeah. Joe McKnight, right. Bobby. Why is McKnight coming up? Oh, somebody mentioned him? Yeah. We let Danny Woodhead go for Joe McKnight's pedigree. He ended up being a good returner for us, though, but he was definitely a disappointment as far as running back. But God rest his soul. Weed the people checking in. A-Rod's a Jet, and I'm crazy baked. Oh, that's amazing. You're the best. That's amazing. Good for you, dude. Enjoy it, man. You should be baked. If you can be baked, bake it up. I don't do that sort of thing anymore because when I get baked, I want cocaine. That's just what it is. And once I get cocaine, I get freaked out and I need heroin and alcohol, and it's a big problem. It's a mess. It's a whole thing. I can't just do that. I can't. It's a whole, I've talked myself into it hundreds of times, man. I lived in the Salvation Army in Paterson, New Jersey, right? Because I was homeless. I was a homeless guy in New Jersey. I slept in hallways in Newark for a little while there. And then I'd bounce around from house to house and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'd steal shit and they'd never let me back and that whole thing. But so when I went to the Salvation Army in Paterson, I lived there. And I was there for however long. And then I finished. I didn't finish. I left early, but I left. And I said, literally, I left. I was clean. I wasn't in withdrawal, nothing. I just left and I thought, you know what? I think if I just smoked weed, maybe had some drinks on the weekend, and I even said this, every now and then, little coke, I think I'd be fine. I just got to go back to that. I was doing fine. I was working. I was there. Dude, I wasn't out of that place. Salvation Army, like the bottom floor of rehabs. Now, they're one of the best rehabs I've ever been in, but bottom floor. It's all homeless guys and everything, like myself, right? I wasn't out of there for an hour. And I was already smoking weed by the guy who picked me up. He just happened to have a bone. I smoked weed. He dropped me off in my house. I was high as hell. I got in my car and I drove to Newark. That's what happened. I shit you not. I was on cocaine and heroin in 2 hours. And my whole plan was like, I'm just going to smoke weed and relax. Smoked weed. That was it. I remember thinking, I can't control this. I am not capable. It wasn't long after that. I mean, maybe a month, 2 months after that I crashed the car into the telephone pole and I got the rest, the fucking whole mess. But I went to Florida and that's when I got sober. Lucas checking in. GreenBean, what's up, buddy? I'm thrilled about. Good for you, Lucas. Enjoy it, dude. I'm enjoying it. Everybody who calls me, I get all kinds of fans, Dolphin fans, Bears fans, Giants friends, family there. Hey, man, what do you think? I'm like, I'm psyched. Some go, yeah, you should be. And some go, really? For a 40-year, I say he's not 40, so stop it. He might as well be. Really? He might as well be? Why? He's going to play the most of this season as a 39-year-old. 40's next year. So cut it out. You know? Oh, dude, Roger. Lucas, look at this. Roger even has a Lido Shepherd jersey. Roger, you got to email me. If you want to keep him, let me just tell me. I'll leave you alone. But dude, we could really have some fun with this stuff. You know what I'll do? If you were to, I don't know. Well, I could hang it in here or whatever, and display it, but I'd rather give it to someone. I'd rather see somebody, maybe some kid who needs, I know that's what I'm saying, Braden. Who needs sleep? Braden in the house. What's up? It's good to see you, buddy. I hope everything's going well. I hope everything's going well for you down there, my friend. How do you feel about it? Are you psyched? I haven't heard your take yet, Braden. Let's hit the like button. I do have to go to bed. I'm shot, man. I really am. I don't even know what we're talking about. Didn't I just tell you a whole story about the Salvation Army? Like something's wrong. We got to get out of here. Yeah, well, Mike White Mike, whatever. Nothing wrong with weed for you. I'm with you. Go ahead. I just legalize it, everything. I'm in full support of it. But for me, buddy, don't tell me it ain't the same. Don't tell me that because it is. Once I decide to get high on anything, I get high on what I want to get high on. It's like once I allow that, you know what I mean? Like if I allow myself to get high, then I got to get high. And weed ain't getting me there. That's just the way it is. I'm a man. I'm done. You know, the old, Mike, we use a saying. It says, once a cucumber becomes a pickle, it's never going to be a cucumber again. Doesn't matter if it wants to, it doesn't matter. It's a pickle now. I'm a pickle. And I know that. So I don't fuck around. Straight bean, yeah, Emanon, let me tell you, that's very, very true. If you met me the other way, it's not fun, man. Believe me, nobody wanted me around. Even like crackheads, I was a big crackhead. I smoked crack every day for almost 19 years. Almost every single day for 19 years. Even crackheads, daily crack users. I've literally been in crack houses in Patterson and Newark. Like the one in particular was like the top floor of this house in Patterson. The top floor is like an attic. And a guy lived in there and he was, whatever. And he would let us in and we'd smoke crack. They kicked me out of there. They're like, this guy needs to go. Get this guy out of here. I was the worst, man. Crackheads didn't want to hang out with me. So, and now look, now we can be friends. I'm a nice guy. I am. Rob says opiates and dope rumor. Yeah, dude. You know, it's funny. Like I said, it's not funny, but I smoked crack every day for 15 years, or 19 years. My life was a mess. I drank tons of alcohol, Jack Daniels. When I would show up at my bar, I knew all the bartenders, so I used to drink for real cheap and sometimes free. I'd walk in every day. And when I walked in with moments, there would be a pint of Jack on the rocks, a pint glass filled with Jack Daniels, and they would just splash a Coke it for me. And I would literally blast back a full pint of Jack Daniels just to get my night started. That's what I did every day. So, but the interesting thing is that once I switched over to Percocets and then ultimately heroin, 2 years. 2 years I was homeless and my life had fallen apart. It's crazy. Some people it's the other way, but that's what it was for me. Cool, man. Cool, Roger. Yeah, let's talk about it. Again, no pressure. I don't want to come across as any, but if you're looking to kind of, put those things to use, we could do some fun stuff, I think. The classics. Maybe we'll even get Mala Mala to sign it, man. I'm sure he'd sign it, right? Let's reach out to Mala Mala. Let's reach out to Mala Mala. Right. Braden says, who won, who lost? We'll know in 3 years. We'll know by the end of this year, I think, though, Braden. Like, if we don't make the playoffs, we lose. We lose. You know what I mean? You came here and got sober? What do you mean came here? I've been here the whole time, Ricky. Where'd I come? Come to the Jets? You know how many fights and drunken idiot things I've done in Giant Stadium and shit? Brendan Byrne Arena. Parking lot fights. All the time, man. I've been in fights with Buffalo fans, Miami fans, like fist fights. One time, I don't know why I had an umbrella. I don't remember. It wasn't raining, but I had an umbrella. And I literally jabbed this guy so as if it was the Middle Ages and I was a knight of the round table defending Gwendolyn for her honor. I stabbed this guy. I mean, it didn't pierce. It was a friggin' umbrella, but like it had like it was like a long umbrella. It had like a little stick on the end. And the guy was like, dude, you stabbed me with an umbrella. I'm like, I'll fucking kill you with this umbrella. It was like, but that was the guy I was, man. I was a totally different person. Same humor, same stuff like that, but man, was I a mess. It's the truth. It's really true. But I don't know what, Ricky, thank you for the congrats. But look, it's not that. See, the thing is, what we have to remember is that people aren't fucking up. Like, you could have looked at me. I tried to get clean for about 5 years. I tried. I used to cry on the way to my dealer in the morning because I would be at my dealer at 5 a.m. every day. He was open in the projects in Newark. And he'd be there. I'd show up at 5 a.m. If I was there 5 and he was there 5:02. Like, it was like he was coming. And I would cry. He would see me. I'd be crying. I couldn't stop. So it's one of those things, you know. Oh, I see why, Mike. Yeah, no problem. It's all good. It's hard in here. Let's see. Anyway, there's all that stuff. Yeah, kicking heroin is no joke, dude. I'll tell you what's harder, methadone and Suboxone and those guys. I remember I was in a class and I was working at a detox for years, and I'd seen numerous people have to kick Suboxone. And it was, I was getting my counselor stuff and all that shit. And this rep came in from the Suboxone company, whatever pharmaceutical company that is. And he came in and he said, the great thing about Suboxone is there's no what did he say? There's no potential for abuse, which is bullshit. And there's really no withdrawal. And I raised my hand and said, you are absolutely 100% incorrect. And he said, the data, I said, your data given to you by your boss is wrong. And my teacher said, stop. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let this guy, we got 50 potential counselors in here that are going to go out into the world and think that this stuff isn't a problem. It's a problem. It can be a useful tool. Don't fucking tell you. I had a whole sit down with my professor and it was crazy, man. But that's the stuff. Oh, I did, Ricky. You're right. Well, you know what's funny about Florida? It's a very, very bad place for drugs, right? As you know. But it's also the recovery capital of the entire country. It's the truth. More meetings, more rehabs, more therapists, more outpatient than anywhere else in the country, even California. California only because of the size of the state, but like per capita, whatever the hell it is. Florida is the recovery capital of the country, but it's sick. I mean, I was in the recovery field in Florida for 15 years. We helped develop task forces. I mean, I was there during the OxyContin epidemic, man. There was at one time, I was in Broward County. There were at one time for a couple of years, there were more pain clinics in Broward County than there were McDonald's. Think about that. There's a McDonald's on every corner. There were more pain clinics, and we helped create the task force that shut them down and shut down all the sober living houses that were essentially flop houses and taking little girls, and they would pretend it was a sober environment, and they would prostitute them for their rent and all kinds of stuff and for drugs. And we shut them down, man. Spent years doing that. Yep. Lots of stuff, dude. I got all kinds of fun stories. Isn't that fun? Didn't that sound like a fun story? Shit, man. Yeah, Lucas, methadone. It's toughy. I was on methadone too, buddy. It's a toughie. I'm with you, man. Truly. Know that. But you can live your life on methadone. I have an uncle. So I've been on methadone for a long time. So no sweat. No sweat, man. I was in an intervention. You know, I was trained in interventions by one of the guys on the show Intervention. Did you know that, Roger? Yes, I do, Rob. I remember that very, very well. OxyContins are not addictive. You know why? Because they had the time release on it. They had this coating on it. So it released slowly so you couldn't get that intense. You know what we did? Either chew them if you want to do it that way, or you peel it off. It's like, there's that. End of that. Rehab is for quitters. Thankfully, I am one of them. Anyway, let's wrap this up with the Jets thing. So, and a phenomenal beard. Good. That's guy like your uncle. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, Mr. Unnecessary. It really is. Especially when I was up in Newark, man. Newark is Port Newark's where it all comes in on the East Coast anyway. Port Newark, I mean, it was like it comes right in there. Now with the fentanyl, dude, it's the scariest thing in the world out there. It's really scared. But let's do some Jets. Yeah, you lick the coating off. That's all you do. I would just chew them. That's what I did. I didn't care. I used to chew like 380s. I got a funny story about ruining a film set with OxyContins and cocaine. That was all me. I got fired. But I'll tell you guys that another day. So, Evan, the draft. Thank you. 2 days to the NFL draft. 2 days, guys. Let's do this. In the chat right now. No matter where we are, if we slide back, doesn't matter. Who is our first round pick? Your guess right now. We'll spend a few minutes doing that. I'm going to tell you mine in a minute. I want to see yours. If you had to put $1,000 on a player, doesn't matter where we do, where the pick is, 15, we trade up to 4, we trade back to 20, 26, doesn't matter where. Who's the player? That's all we want to know. For Hennessy, so therefore, oh yeah, I forgot about the draft. Me too, almost. I thought I was in a meeting for a minute. Evan says Darnell Wright. Music Man, I'm with you, buddy. That's exactly right. It's just a new version. It's different, but it's essentially the same as far as the effect. Evan says Darnell Wright. Hank agrees. Let's see. Oh, Roger named his dog Klecko. Good, man. That's nice. That's perfect. I love it. Weed the people. What draft? Mr. Unnecessary agrees Darnell Wright. You got 3 for Darnell Wright. Rob V says Kalijah Cansey. That would be something. Excuse me. Nicholas Olson or Nicholas. Broderick Jones. Nicholas. Lucas says Skronsky. Cyrus says Broderick Jones. We got all offensive tackles and Cansey. Scarcities. What's up, buddy? Should be getting your liquid IV any moment now. Scarcities won the liquid IV last week. Or right? Was it a t-shirt? I maybe. No, I sent you. So I sent you a package. It was liquid IV. That's right. That's right. Kalijah Cansey for DLB, one Jets arm. Bunch of Canseys. We got Broderick Jones, Skronsky, Darnell Wright, and Kalijah Cansey. Sluggo just doesn't want to commit. White Mike says, I'm just too excited. I like it. The tight end. No way. I would be blown away and secretly ecstatic. I would. Best player on the board. Mothman taking that route. I get it. Malone says he's happy no matter what. Trust JD. That's an interesting place to be, isn't it? For us Jets fans. Jason says Anton Harris. I'm going to tell you guys, I think there's a bigger chance for Anton Harris than you think. Especially if we trade back, guys. We trade back into the 20s. And if we're still taking tackle, you're going to see it's Anton Harris. And he's going to be great. Is it Harrison? What the hell's going on? Is it Harris? I feel like it's Harrison. Harris. I knew that felt wrong, James. I know. We're together. Anton Harrison. I was like, it doesn't feel right. It's late. Ronald says Darnell White. I know you want exciting. I get it. Trade back from Radovon and take Anton Harrison. I love it. Broderick Jones, offensive tackle, or Cansey. You did, Anders. I got experience there too. It can be a positive experience. It's like, it depends on your position, right? Like some positions you just got to do what you got to do, but there's other positions where you can impact change. There are outpatients, there's treatment there as well. It's a whole thing. You got to just balance it. You got to know. Anyway, that's a whole thing. Darnell Wright from Hennessy. Evan says Darnell Wright again. Jack in the second. Can you imagine? Curly says Broderick Jones. Jonathan Mingo from no way, Jason. No way. I got to interview Jonathan Mingo. He's the guy who made fun of my name, I think. He was like, GreenBean? GreenBean. You're GreenBean? That's what he said. Something like that. Braden says Darnell Wright. Ryan King's going for the tight end. Scarcity says Van Ness. He does seem like a solid guy, though. I'm with you. You're not saying he's going to take him, but Tim says Darnell Wright as well. I'll tell you what, if we traded back and grabbed Schmitz, I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't. I would not. I would not be upset, guys. Let me see something here. I want to take a look at something. All right. I know, Twist, remember how many times, like before the combine, everybody was all over Brian Branch. I never hear his name ever anymore. I think we're going to take a safety. I think we're going to take Jay Ward in the 5th. I think we're going to jump the shark. We're going to take Jay Ward. We got 2 5ths. We're going to take Jay Ward. You're going to see. You're going to see it, guys. And he's going to start. He's good. If you haven't checked out Jay Ward from LSU, dig in. You're going to see it, dude. He played. Dude, they needed him to do all sorts of. They said, look, we're sorry. We need Jet Nickel. He said, fine. He played it at. He was a stud. Need you to play outside corner. No problem. He's a stud. Need you to play safety. Done. Stud. He's a stud. The Fire says JSN is what he wants, but he thinks it's going to be Darnell Wright. It's a good answer. It's a good answer. Mitt Flair says JSN. My final Tony Miola. Remember that experiment, Tony Miola? That was right around the time that we plucked Tony Casillas from the scrap heap. Remember that? Tony Miola. Wow. Do we all wish it was Mangold? Come on. Well, this is the thing, DLB. I got inside information. Now, again, who knows? But I got inside information that's been reliable, very reliable up to this point. Told me the Jets are absolutely targeting a tackle with their first-round pick. They're not locked in. They have tackles that they want. If they're not there, they're totally comfortable moving to another position. But they're targeting a tackle. Then I asked Connor Hughes if that was correct information. He said that's what he's hearing as well. Again, doesn't mean anything specific because Joe Douglas runs a tight ship and he could be leaking stuff for specific reasons. But that's what I was told. Could be smoke. I know it's slug up. Believe me, I've done probably 40% of what I usually do this year. I'm an expert at the draft. Right now, I know stuff. I know a lot, but I'm not like, Dom C. So I think having Dom C around is, I'm like, I don't need to learn anything. I'll just have Dom C on. It has slowed, but I think that's because teams let it slow. They go, I don't really like him. But they do like him. That's what I think. Broderick Jones from Ricky. What's up, K Yeti? Good to see you, buddy. Rob says Harrison. Let's see. Does it matter? We got Rodgers. Sluggo says, that's right. Don't forget. Rob says F Mingo then. I don't know. It was funny. It was in jest. He wasn't like making fun of me. Like he was playing with me, you know? Ryan King, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate that. He said, would you trade back for 15 to a second round pick this year of a fourth round pick? Let me see. Trade back 15 for a second to a second of a fourth round pick this year and a first round pick next year. Depends on where it is. Maybe if it was like a high second, like in the top 3 seconds or something like that, maybe. I might need more though. That's a lot. That's quite the jump. You're giving somebody a top 15 pick from the second round. There's a lot. But maybe. And then you get like pick 34 and 43. You can do some damage there. And then you got an extra first next year. That'd be great. I hope J.O. say, hey, look, I was just talking about Dom C. See, oh, hey, look, I'm here for, who knew? Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Dom, let me ask you, would you do that trade? Look, this one. I'm curious what Dom C thinks. What do you think? Would you do this? Would you trade back from 15 to the early second for a fourth and a first next year? See that? Isn't that funny? I like telepathically beckoned him. That's funny. I was like, Dom C, come to us. Come and talk to us about stuff. College prospects. Would you do that, Dom? Evan says yes. Hennessy says, nope, need more than that. Everybody's saying Dom. Where's Dom? Did he leave already? Yeah, you think Jake Asman has solid hands, does he? I don't know. And I like Matt O'Leary as the quarterback. He looked pretty good on that tape that we have of Matt. Maybe for 2 seconds and a first next year. That's it, right? I mean, I need more, I think. Let's say it's top 3, like 34. That'd be top 2. I'm just saying in the top 3. I know. See, Dom, you're getting nuts. I want to know who's on the board. You know what I mean? Just generally speaking, was that something you would entertain? I don't know, Ryan. I really want to give Rodgers the best chance to succeed this year. But if you look, if you feel, and to Dom's point, if you feel like the first round guys are gone, like the guys that you would have a first round grade on are gone, and you have like this batch kind of lumped in together, all kind of in the same tier, second round for, yeah, take the first next year. Why not? Drop back. I want to know who's on, right, man? That's Dom. I need more information. I cannot predict. I cannot put my name out there. I need more info. All right, here he goes. Dom says, draft class as a whole is weak this year, so if a second rounder can get you DeJuan Jones, Anton Harrison, yep, that's it. There it is. So I'm going to give you my prediction for who the Jets are going to draft. Now, I want to give all kinds of caveats. If they do this, but let's just say, again, I'm going to play by my own rules. I think the Jets are going to come away with Broderick Jones. That's what I think. Broderick Jones is going to be a New York Jet. Pick 42. We're going to get Mazzie Smith. That's what I think. And I'm going to be elated. That's what it's going to be. Don, oh, you guys are so funny. I love you guys. Really. You guys are all good with me. But I'm going to end the show because I'm really tired. And I've been live now. What is it? This is I don't know how long this one is. When did I come on? 10:45. So this is an hour and 45 minutes. Is that right? No, an hour and it's only been an hour and 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. But I did an hour earlier. I did 2.5 hours with Ryan. So that's almost 5 hours of fucking live streaming. It's a lot, especially at midnight. You know what I mean? Weed the people checking. I can't wait to see what surprise JD has in this draft. Me too, Weed the people. Believe you me. We have an exciting general manager, guys. He's traded in every draft, usually more than once. I mean, maybe every time more than, yeah. Every draft, more than one trade. Amazeballs. Up, back, he don't care. Patriots, Giants, I don't care. Whoever. Indy, Seattle, whatever. I'll trade. Vikings. Sure. That's what he does. He traded with the Giants last year to get Brees, right? Amazing. I see our buddy Indy. What's up, man? Coming in late. It's good to see you, though. It's good to see you, Indy. Welcome. Oh, did I tell you? I found, remember I was telling you I couldn't find where you were banned? You were in a very, very special, weird place. It wasn't a ban. It was like a temporary hold or some weirdness. But I found it and I unbanned you. So if you want to go back to your other thing, you can. I found it. I looked everywhere before, but clearly not here. I was like, holy shit, look at that. There he is. So again, I do apologize for all that baloney that you dealt with. You're a good guy, Jay, for real. You know I think that. You're a good dude. I'm glad you're here, and I'm sorry about all that. But you can stay Indy Jets. It's fine. That's good. We know you there. We love you. Yes, we are, and I'll send out the email. We'll do a mock. A beanbagger mock tomorrow, everybody. You want to join the beanbaggers? The link is in the description. We're doing a private mock. Now that we know what our picks are, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. We have a great time with the beanbaggers. Dom hangs out with us. Well, Dom is a beanbagger, so there's that. But even aside from that, he hangs out with the beanbaggers every week. We do positional breakdowns. Having Dom C around makes the draft, the mocks, totally different. You guys know. It's not just a mock. It's like an informational, educational session. It's great. So there you go, Ryan. I love you, buddy. You're a good dude, too. I would still trade, though. I'll trade with anybody, but I got to get them. I hate them all. I had too many grudges. But we are, Dom, and I'm going to email in the morning. I meant to get it out today. There you go, Indy. Just stick with what you right. Stick with it. We got this far, man. I might like this better anyway. Indy Jets, it's good. It's good stuff. But guys, we're going to bounce out of here. We'll do one more comment from Braden. 2023 year of healthy Jets. No one's taking a day off with A-Rod leading the party. Well said, Indy. Braden. Well said, Braden. And we're going to wrap it up with that. Guys, have a great night. I will see you. We'll do something tomorrow. I got the whole day to myself. So I have a lot of work to do, but we're going to hang out tomorrow. With that said, have a great night, everybody. I'll see you in the morning or the afternoon, but I'll see you next time.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
He's going to be in the leg. I see some ass off the edge. Get that mindset.